Yeah, I got to tell you, we've been down here on the border all week with the men and women of the Texas Department of Public Safety, and really who've been conducting saturation patrols along the border, seeing as these smugglers are moving people into the country. And I know today that what's happening, there's a big discussion about the critical incident teams within CBP and within Border Patrol. Now, this is a very small group of individuals who conduct mostly internal investigations on agents who may have used excessive force or accused of it anyway, or at least they go out and collect evidence. Let me put some of this in perspective a little bit. Some of these stations are very remote, and so you can lose evidence over a course of time when something is committed before another investigative agency can come out. So they conduct a lot of the preliminary. There are advocacy groups who are now claiming that these special units shouldn't exist and that they're hiding or collecting evidence and then disposing of it improperly. Now, one thing they have stated that may be true, and if so, it needs to be looked into, and apparently there is an investigation going on to it now internally within DHS, is there's no policies on these groups. But I will tell you, it's hard to be down here and to hear about these types of things going on in Washington when you're here on the ground and you are seeing the countless number of people crossing into this country as we have all the week long. Last night we were embedded with Texas National Guard, a soldier by the name of Lieutenant Blair, who's also a Border Patrol agent. And as we walked the line here, we found some of these wristbands of human trafficking. And these are the things, this is the virus that's impacting Americans and spreading across this country, but yet, this is what Washington's talking about today. So, I guess it is what it is. Back to you.
Jaeson, last night you were embedded with National Guard troops. Tell us a little bit about that.
One of the things that surprised me, and every time I come to the border, I see something new that we've not seen previously. In La Jolla, Texas, down here, they are seeing, and he told me literally every single night, and we've got video of it we're going to be showing here pretty soon, where every single evening, Border Patrol and National Guard soldiers are seeing these drones crossing from the Mexico side into the U.S. looking for law enforcement. And what they're doing is scouting routes. And as soon as they see these drones coming across, that's when they know they're fixing to start seeing runners of single males, single females, or family units. And it goes to show the tradecraft that you guys hear me talk about all the time with these cartels down here, specifically CDG or alien smuggling groups.
All right, Jaeson, thank you so much. Jaeson Jones, we really appreciate it. And here for more reaction is Ohio Congressman and ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman, great to have you here today. So, as Jaeson was just talking about, there's this oversight, of the Border Patrol. Look, these men and women, they have such a tough job, and we're seeing these flights at night. We're seeing illegal migrants committing crimes. We are seeing an increase in fentanyl, and yet President Biden is nowhere to be found, and he's not addressing this major crisis.
No, it's deliberate. It's intentional. There's no other way to interpret it. I go back to the start of this administration. You go back to March. March was the highest month on record. Last year, March was the highest month on record for illegal crossings until April. April was the highest month until May. May was the highest month until June. June was the highest month until July. So you had 5 months in a row where the number kept going up and up and up, and it's barely trickled down a little bit. So we had 1.9 million illegal crossings in 1 year. There is no other way to interpret this other than this is intentional. This is deliberate. And to our country, they're doing this. And I always come back to the fundamental question: are you really a nation if you don't have a border that you actually control? So this is what frustrates so many Americans. And then all the problems that are associated with that when you have a border that's completely open, the drug problem, the human trafficking problem, all those other concerns that we have that are real, that are scary, that are dangerous. That's why we're so focused on trying to get this under control, but they're just not going to do it, I don't think, until we get President Trump back in the White House.
And, Congressman, we have Jaeson Jones down there so often, and he goes around and sees a lot of these arrests. And what strikes me is it seems like most of these people, they're not putting up a fight. They kind of understand the process. They come across the border. They know they're going to get taken in. They're going to get a date to appear, and then they're not going to appear.
No, they're going to get to stay. Now, again, you don't fault people for wanting to come to the greatest country in history.
Correct.
I get that. But you have to have a border. I mean, remember, so many times early on we saw them wearing Biden T-shirts. They understood when you get rid of the Remain in Mexico policy, when you tell basically the whole world you're open, come on in, that's exactly what happened. So I just find what the lack of any intensity or focus on dealing with this just underscores that they're doing it on purpose. This is intentional. Secretary Mayorkas has yet to appear in front of the House Judiciary Committee. Now, we're the committee of primary jurisdiction over immigration law. Every single year that I've been here, the secretary comes in and talks to the committee, but not now. I mean, Jerry Nadler will not have the secretary in front of the Judiciary Committee for a hearing where we can ask him some pointed questions where at least the mainstream press will have to cover it a little bit. You guys do a great job covering it, but at least the other press would have to cover it if he actually came in for a hearing. But they refuse to do it.
Yeah, and when he's asked questions about numbers, he doesn't even really have the numbers, which is so surprising.
That's right.
Congressman, Oversight Republican.
Well, they told it. Remember, he's the one who told us the border was secure.
Right.
I mean, he said it with a straight face, which I don't know how you could do that. So this just shows how ridiculous it all is, and that they are doing this to the country on purpose, intentionally, deliberately, and that is so wrong. And that's why I do think, I'm not calling for President Biden to be impeached. What I've said is this is something our conference is going to look at and make a decision on, because when you do this time and time again and you allow this to happen for now over a year, that's something we have to look at and make a decision on as a Republican conference.